subsequently, when I invited him on to discuss it I was very measured about it until he started acting like a jackass. I said, hey, dude, we could end up with Donald Trump appointing 3 Supreme Court justices.
Yeah.
And Jimmy's response was, we could also have the moon fall into Lake Michigan.
You're trying to manipulate me with fear.
Exactly.
Right. All right, so this is them talking about, this is Sam and Emma breaking down what happened in TYT, kind of the stuff from the past that happened with certain fights and positions and everything that he took and all of that. I'm going to skip over, but anyway, like I said, I'm covering the story. So what's going on is the fact that, again, Cenk decided to just take off his right foot, and I don't know, it's like the most unforced thing to me. Like, it's like, I'm just gonna do something dumb, and fire Francesca Fiorentini. Of course, now everybody's dredging up a bunch of stories. There's a lot going on. People are going from, it's not stories, but like people are remembering things that happened in the past, and people are talking about Cenk and his poor business practices, but also talking about Anna and her feelings, right? And so this is what kind of got them into the situation, and now look, there's a lot going on there, but we're going to move on from the Jimmy Dore story, and we're going to get into more of this.
Calling. He, a month and a half ago, was calling me all sorts of names. Now,
rank grifter?
Frankly, I don't care.
Right.
Apparently, he's very sensitive to being called, but we're going to do something here on the program right now.
Uh-huh.
I would like everyone in this office.
All right, hold on. Sorry, guys.
In policing people, but some of the stuff they started to do was really, really bad, and so that's what we started addressing it, and they're lighting themselves on fire over there, and that's all well and good, but they should do it in a way where they're not telling lies that are easily debunked. Now, just because there seems to be a desire to sort of like have all the things out, I just want to tell one other story, because Cenk and I didn't have a tremendous amount of interaction over the years. I've known him since he was on Air America, and I filled in a couple of times, I think, on TYT, 15 years ago or something like that. The one thing that really struck me in the one sort of like behind the scenes interaction I had with Cenk was at one point, and I had looked it up when, I don't know when exactly this happened. It was during, I think, the first Trump administration. I could look it up again in the emails. I was invited to a meeting with some of the Google, or I think it was Google, government liaison people.
Scary.
And it was me, Cenk, and 2 of these people. And they were asking us about potential hearings on antitrust that Google might face. Mm-hmm. And I remember saying, with all due respect, I like the fact that, we do make money on YouTube. I appreciate you people. I do think that Google should be broken up into many pieces. And they were like, okay. And I was like, and there's a growing antitrust movement. And I really do hope they're successful in pulling you guys apart. I don't want you guys to lose your jobs. And I don't think you will, or whatever, but I just want you to know that. Cenk was not only so dismissive about it, I do specifically remember, he goes, well, I've read Matt Stoller. I will testify on Google's behalf in front of Congress. Now
let's pause that, right? You see, Sam Cedar is somebody who, a lot of people on the right don't like him. A lot of people on the right don't like him. This is gonna make me mad. Because of his positions and the things that he's into, and and all of that trans stuff and everything else. But things are starting to change. Not about the positions. People are noticing who's really going to stick with their values. Sam Cedar says, I don't have YouTube. Hey, I have no beef with y'all, but my values is that y'all need to be broken up into little pieces, and everybody still can keep their jobs, but just broken up in little pieces. Cenk says, who's supposed to pretend as if he wants to break down big corporations and everything, he says, yeah, I'm going to be on your side with it. Not good.
It was both hilarious to me that Cenk thought that would be valuable to them.
All delusional.
Yeah, but the delusional part, I've always like sort of understood. It always, was a part of James.
That says so much about Jank's kind of psychology, right? When he's in the room with these people, of course he wants their approval so bad, so bad. Obviously, they wouldn't actually need him to, defend them or whatever, but he just wants their approval. He wants them to feel like, oh, this guy's, on our side. But then, of course, when he's on air, he wouldn't say that. He would probably rail against Google and be like, yeah, of course we should break them up. At least at that time period, he would have fucking told a straight lie to his audience and pretend to be a populist crusader. And now we see the exact same thing happen with Trump, right? After fucking years of screaming about Donald Trump and, warning his audience about Donald Trump, now that Donald Trump's actually in office again, he's trying to get his fucking ass to Mar-a-Lago. He wants approval. He wants to sit at the cool kids table.
Oh, 100%. And it's exactly like how he starts a fucking super PAC.
Oh my gosh, I hate my mouse doesn't do what I wanted to do. Look. 115%, bro. He's looking like, damn, even Bill Maher got the goal, and I still didn't make it to to the Mar-a-Lago. And what that shows is that TYT is not taken serious by anybody. That is just a begging little, like a beggar, and that doesn't make Anna happy. By the way, that doesn't.
To get money out of politics, and then he himself runs for president. He's like, I'm not going to do unilateral disarmament. And it's like, bro, you literally cheerlead Bernie Sanders for 6 fucking years, and the whole movement was with grassroots small dollars. And you said, this is the way. We're starting a rebellion pack. We're starting a wolf pack. We're starting Justice Democrats. We're starting all of this kind of stuff as a way to get money out of politics. And as soon as it serves you, he only cares about himself, guys. You know what? That's the thing. The reason Jank and Jimmy got along for so long is because they're really the same guy. Jank, through all of his faults, he's not a drunken fucking fool. So he was able to get a little further in life than Jimmy. But at the end of the road, they're the same guy. They only care about consumption. They only care about themselves. They only care about positioning. And you just have to put yourself in this situation. You're Sam Cedar. You're at an executive meeting with the Google bros and the people who run YouTube. So like technically, like, you do make them money. So you're like, okay, I'm here. Like, whatever. Like, what do you guys have to say to me? Sam has the fucking righteous energy with him. And he's like, I think you guys should be broken up. I don't really want to do any advertising for you. Like, I appreciate that you guys bought YouTube. Oh, by that, I mean, I understand you guys own it and it's the platform I use. So, I hope that stays in business, but I'm not going to do any flattery for you. Like, and for posterity, I've also read Goliath. I don't believe Jank has if he drew the conclusion that Google does not need to be broken up. And then he just goes to suck cock for whoever's the richest guy in the room.
Basically, right? The walls are closing in. The next episode we'll talk about the email list that TYT's been selling to the politicians. I mean, it's just, here's the thing. You can do whatever you want, these people, but they always point fingers at everybody else. I don't know what's going to happen in TYT, but they should have thought about it before they got rid of Fran and didn't get the NDA at least. At least Ben Shapiro knew to do it to Candace. I don't like that he did it, but he did it. Jank, what are you doing? All this mess you got going on, you ain't had these people sign something a long time ago? Crazy. I'll see you guys at the next one.